Dear 580 friends, it's 7 o'clock Dutch time, Thursday the 2nd of December, and it's time for the updates. 2 days ago, Lutz, my fellow race director, did the update for 2 days back, and now it's the honor for me to tell you about the fleet. So let's dive into it. If we look at the bigger picture at this moment, you can see that the Azure High is doing what the Azure High should be doing, namely being around Azores. And what we see is that it's quite a powerful system. It dictates the system, the biggest part of the North Atlantic at this moment. And especially for our friends, there's a nice Passat blowing, trade wind blowing. So let's see if we can zoom in a bit and look at the fleet. Here they are. So let's see the leaderboard. Who's who and who is running in first. So number 2, the boat of Etienne, is in first place. And velocity made good last 24 hours, 125 nautical miles. Menawan is doing very, very good. He's second, but last 24 hours he did 136 miles, velocity made good. So he was running the most direct route to the finish place. So that's Menawan, that's Michal Krista. The red boat in our screen. And then Origami is doing a 3rd place. Tracker is doing a 4th place, and Tracker is doing well. Did a lot more miles, velocity made good, so direct route to the finish, than the guy in 3rd place. So it could be that within not too long from now, Don will overtake Origami. So let's see. How is Jim doing? Our favorite TikTok star. He is doing good. The messages we get from the boat are fine, only we can see that he sails carefully. So he's not going too fast. And that's okay. It's okay to be gentle. Only we see that there is quite a gap in the field. So as close as the 4 guys are between each other on the front, the far Molly Claire is. So at this moment, if we take a ruler, we go from Molly Claire to the number 4, which is Tracker at this moment. Then the distance is almost 500 nautical miles. It's a long distance. And that's okay. We know that Jim takes his time. And the way I see it, he will be enjoying the ocean for a longer time than the other guys. And that carries a lot of beauty in itself. So, how are the guys doing, and how did they came here the last 4 days? So let's get back to the 28th. And here we are. It's about here. Yes, here we are. So the guys were running, and they slowly managed to get more west, running nicely, and see how close number 2 and MENA 1 are doing. So that's the bright yellow and the red boat in the field. And here we see the purple boat and the orange boat coming close together. But how close are they coming together? Because if you look at the field and you look at the distance in the field, for instance with the toggle, the ruler, if I put the first place here and the second point here, it's a distance of roughly 150 miles. And if we put it more or less here, it's 70 miles. So in the sphere of the nautical miles, the field that they are in is about 120 to 70 miles. Is that 120? 150 to 70 miles. That's more or less the field that they take. And that's quite a distance, because it's not easy to have VHF range on the ocean with small short masts, because remember, a VHF antenna needs to see another VHF antenna to be able to talk with each other over VHF. Yet I think that if you look at number 2 and MENA 1, that those two guys on a regular basis have VHF contact, because sometimes they're closer, sometimes they're a bit further out of range. And for instance, at this moment, the distance between number 3 and Tracker is about 41 miles. So that is, maybe it's a bit less. It's about 40 miles. So it's possible with a VHF under the best circumstances. But remember, they don't have the best circumstances, because the boats are heeling. VHF antennas are going up and down. So it's possible that they can talk sometimes, but not all the time. Definitely not. But it's interesting. So what about the conditions at this moment? So first up, temperature. Everybody knows if you have a low temperature, it's very difficult, but they don't have a low temperature. Actually, front of the fleet has high 20s, and Moleculaire has easy 25 degrees. So that's all cool. Clouds. Do they have any rain? Can they see the stars? Yes, they can. It won't stay this way for the rest of the days that we can see from now, but at least a nice sun and starry skies. What about the currents? Because the current will help you a lot. And this is interesting. If you look at the number 3 and number 4, so Origami and Tracker, they have current. Yeah, they have, but not too much. And MENA 1 and number 2 have a great current, and especially when you look a few days ahead. So probably MENA 1 and number 2 will have a strong current for the coming days, while Origami and Tracker, depends on the direction that they will follow, will have less current. Moleculaire also not too much current. So yeah, if you look at the wind and you look at the width of the trade winds, it's also understandable how this works. So MENA 1 and the number 1 and number 2 are more close to the direction of the strong winds that keep the current running, and Tracker and Origami are a bit off-centered. So all cool, but you can see there's a difference. And the funny thing is that a current is free. So if you can get the current working for you, nobody can beat you. at least not on that front, because they don't only have to sail faster than you, but they will have to sail faster plus the free current that you get. So yeah, that's interesting. So what about the rain then? Can they do a shower? Not too much, not too much. Maybe sometimes in a squall they can have a shower, but not too much. We know that they don't have to fill up their water tanks. They can, but they have a lot of water, and we send them off with a lot of extra water too. So as long as they don't break their masts, they will be fine. Yet a good prepared skipper will always fill his tanks full to the brim, when he can. So let's see how that will work out for them. So let's go back to the wind and look to the next coming days. Let's say 24 hours from now. So we go to the 3rd of December, about 1700. Yes. So all will look good. No trouble here. What about the clouds? It looks okay. Nothing special. Maybe Molly Claire will sail into a heavy cloud patch, but maybe not. Let's get to the 4th of December, 1700. Yes. So yeah, and Molly Claire will definitely be in a patch of clouds. The wind will still be fine. I've checked it before. And interestingly enough, we can look not only at the wind, but we can also think about the finish already, because they're roughly halfway, especially when you look at the miles in total that they have to do, because they do extra a few hundred miles extra, because they went quite a bit south. So that means that when we look at the leaderboard and we look at the estimated finish time, you can see that from the number 1 to number 4, the estimated finish time will run between 14, 13, 17, and 15 December, and that's a bit that's a bit interesting, but it has also to do with the fact that you can change this piece from a velocity made good recent to from start. So if you look from start, this is not representable in any way, because they went so far south. Because when you look at this, it will be 20, 21, 21, 22 December. But if we look from recent, we can see that we can already see them coming in the 14th of December. So Meneman is set for the 13th, but Meneman did a very fast last 24 hours. That's not really representative. And the 17th December for Origami is not really representative too, because he did a bit of a slow 24 hours. We know he's faster. So yes, I think between the 14th, 15th, 16th, we can see them coming in. Okay, so 4th of December, it will look like this. So we are through, more or less. If you've made it till here, thank you very much for listening in, and enjoy following the fleet. And you will hear me in 4 days from now, and you will hear Lutz in 2 days from now.